here with Patty, the mortgage girl, and I'm really excited because something that I want to start it with, and something that I want to tell you that maybe I haven't told you, but you remind me more of me in a girl than any other girl. Why? Because you are courageous, you're a producer, and you have extreme work ethic. And I'm gonna go back 3 months. I remember like 3 months ago, you told me I'm gonna be the top leader, the top woman leader in the company, and then you backed it up with results. You close 7, then you close 8, then you close 8. 3 months in a row closing 7+, and that's a pretty big deal because if you guys are watching this and you guys are thinking about real estate, mortgage, I mean, typical commission for loans or for real estate is $10,000 more or less average. So you do the math, 10 times 7 or 8 or 9 or 10, and she's done it consistently, and you don't even have like a full team or assistants or none of that. It's basically just you grinding. So talk about how that's been, but then I want to know how you, like, where you came from, how you started, and your beginnings. But how has it been the last 3 months?
Amazing.
Talk about it.
So the last 3 months, I'm not gonna lie, I was scared because that's when the whole pandemic broke out. But I said, I'm not gonna slow down. I'm gonna start working harder, and I'm gonna work more hours. So what I did is I started working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. I just didn't lose hope. I started making phone calls. I called all my clients and I said, hey, rates drop. Like, do you know anyone that wants to refinance? Do you want to refinance? Do you want to buy? And little by little, I started getting a lot of clients, and then they started referring me clients, and it just spread. The word spread, and thank God I have a lot of clients right now, and I just kept the momentum going, and hopefully I will close 10 next month. That's the goal.
What has been your secret on being consistent? Because I personally have never met a woman that not only you're a mother, a wife, but that has been that consistent, closing 7, 8, 8, 8. And I believe you. Like when you told me that you were going to close, I remember when you told me I was going to close 6 a month, and then it just, you took off. So what's the number one, how do you keep consistency?
I'm just like, now where I'm at right now, it's just like, I want a better lifestyle. I want that Ferrari car. I want that nice house. I want to travel the world. So what am I going to do to get there, to get that stuff? Work harder, work my ass off to get what I want.
And Patty, a lot of women might be looking at you and they have that sense of, I'm a woman, like men are supposed to be like the strong, the people that make the money and the leaders and the powerful people. Like how have you done that as a woman, making the money, being powerful, and being a leader?
Well, for me, it was all about being independent, like an independent woman. At an early age, I knew I did not want to depend on a guy. So that's how I got into real estate, because I knew I could make a lot of money and I can buy whatever I want. The beauty of real estate is that you choose your own schedule. So you can choose if you want to work 1 day a week, 7 days a week, if you want to work 3 days, 3 hours a day, or you choose. So right now I'm working like 14 hours a day, and that's how I'm closing so many deals, because I'm seeing the results, because I'm putting in the work.
How is your typical schedule? Like you said, 14 hours a day. But is it Monday through Sunday? Is there a day that you take off? Or how is your schedule as being a mom and a wife?
It's definitely difficult because you have to balance it out. On the weekends, I try to spend more time with my son. But he doesn't like to go out. He likes to play video games. So I just buy him video games. And Monday through Friday, I go really hard. I don't take lunch breaks. I just focus, like I'm all in with work, with my clients. That's what I'm dedicated to.
And I know that like one thing that you could show people, like clients, is you own your home. And one thing that I like that you did is that you listened to me and you sold your house when I told you to sell it. And I think you sold it at the right time, Because you bought your house, I think, for 300,000 5 years ago, and then you sold it for 600,000. So something I might be off by a few numbers, but
Yeah.
you almost doubled what you bought it for in 5 years. And
Yeah.
then you guys can imagine, maybe she paid down the house by X amount. So I'm sure you made a lot of money in by selling that house. And not only that, but I remember when you got excited about making 60,000 in a month, but now you're closing 8 deals a month and counting. So now you're making a lot of money a month, like so much money. But how do you how does that feel? And one advice I would give you is remain humble, because
Yeah.
when people start seeing all this money in their bank account and they start making all these closings every month, the humbleness goes away, and then they think they're better than everybody, and they forget where they came from, and they lose it all. But how does it feel now that you're pretty much making it rain? No, I don't know personally another woman besides my wife that makes as much money as you do, like single-handedly. So how does that feel, and what are you gonna do to not let it take over your life and you lose your humbleness? Because you're also a beautiful human being that is a very humble person that likes to help people. Like and every time I refer you a client, they tell me Patty was amazing. Patty guided me. Patty held my hand. Patty, like they talk wonders about you.
Yeah.
So like how is it now making all that money, and what advice would you give to other women watching this, or men, or anybody that's watching this, about how it changes from in a year just making the money that you're making, and how are you going to remain that, like, keep that humbleness?
Well, for me, it's always about helping my clients, and also it's a passion. So until this day, like, I still meet with all my clients. I still sign loan docs with them. I answer all their phone calls, all their emails, all their texts, because I want to make sure that everything is clear to them, and I provided 100% of myself to them. And if I can guide them, like, hey, don't do this or do this, like, I'm going to do it, because I care for all my clients. And it's just my passion, and I'm driven to do this. And I want to help as many people as possible. Right now, I'm also working on a nonprofit with my sisters, because we want to help more people outside of real estate. We're working on that, so I'll tell you about that later. But as far as staying humble, like, I work so hard, not only for myself, but
And you tell me, are
Yeah.
you really humble, or are you not? Because there's nothing wrong about being not humble or being humble, but what I see from you is, I think you just have a really nice heart, and you're like, I see you as a humble person. But are you humble, or did I just say that?
I am humble, because I take care of my family.
Your sister talks a lot of nice things about you.
Nice.
Yeah.
I hope. Yeah, so my ultimate goal is to retire my parents. This is
Yeah.
why I work so hard, to be able to provide for my parents, because one day they're not going to be able to work, and when that day comes, that's going to be all up on me. Like, I'm going to make sure that they're taken care of, and that's why I work so hard.
Your sister told me that you never take no for an answer. Is how accurate is that?
That's pretty accurate, yeah.
like how do you not take no for an answer, though? Like, when people make it difficult, or they say you can't do this, like, what is it that you do to make it happen?
It just puts a fuel on me, like, oh, you can't do this, you're not gonna do this, and I say, okay, watch me. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes.
So like what makes you driven, and what makes you not settle for less?
Just because I want that lifestyle, like that amazing lifestyle. I want to accomplish all my goals that I set, and also I want to be the good role model to my sisters, to my kids. Right now I only have one, but in the future, when I do have little girls, I want to make sure that they don't depend on anyone, and they look up to me, and they say, wow, like, my mom's a badass. So I want to be that person.
Talk a little bit about your sisters. I know that your sisters have been a big influence in you, and specifically, people don't like to hear this, but I always think that there's a favorite. Like, I'm like, parents always have a favorite daughter, a favorite son, a favorite sister, a favorite brother. there's always somebody that's like the favorite, and people don't like to hear that. But I know you have a favorite sister, so I'm not gonna cut. I'm not gonna cut. I'm not gonna bullshit. But she talks wonders about you, and she actually helped me prepare for this podcast with you, because she gave me all this information that I didn't know about you. And I don't want to make you nervous, but she told me all these things, and I want to ask you how much has you have been the older sister, because you are the older sister of all your sisters, right?
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
So how much pressure is that as being a role model? Because if I was a woman, I would think that I have a lot of pressure when I have little sisters looking at me, because what I do impacts what they believe in.
Yeah, that's true, 100%. Especially growing up in a very old school family, like very traditional, and my parents are very old school, very strict, and they had high expectations, and they always told me like you have to go to college because your sisters are looking at you, and whatever you do they're gonna do. So I always had the pressure of like I have to do good, I have to succeed, like I have to do this. And now I have a really good relationship with my sisters. We all work together. We help each other out. We like do everything together. We work together. We party together, and we're really close.
And talk about the party, because you mentioned party right now. But I know that you make a lot of money, but you also party. So how important is that? And I actually learned that from you. Like I tell Syl, like we don't have to be miserable. Like we don't have to be like eating like vegetables all day and drinking water all day. Like we should at least have fun once in a while. And yesterday I took everybody in our office. We took him to Sushiya.
Nice.
And we closed out the restaurant and we went to the backside.
Yeah.
And they said, well, bring your car and bump music. And we were bumping music, and everybody got hammered.
Yeah.
And you might be watching this and you're like, man, why did you tell everybody to get hammered? But we got hammered.
Yeah.
All of us. Like, and I'm glad that everybody's alive, because we had so many sakis.
Shots. Oh yeah.
But not getting off topic, I was really excited about this interview with you, and I know that you have everything balanced out, and your life seems to be perfect. Like you have your son, you have your sisters, you have your parents, you have your husband. Is your life really that perfect, or do you sometimes kind of like do you ever wake up and you're like, man, my life is hard? And how do you and how does like having fun and enjoying your life, how does that make it work?
Yeah, so my life is not all unicorns and rainbows. How it may seem, I do have roadblocks and I have problems, but I learned to find a solution for every problem. What helps me a lot is meditation. I meditate every morning, and also alcohol helps sometimes. We're all humans, we're not robots, so we all like to have fun too. And I like to drink and celebrate. We only have one life, so why not just live it up and celebrate life?
But you know what you do though is I respect you because you celebrate, because you have something to celebrate. There's a lot of people that celebrate and they don't have anything to celebrate about.
Yeah.
Like you close your deals and you walk your talk, so you're celebrating, but you're also closing. You're also making money. You're creating success. So like, did you ever celebrate too much before you were successful, or did you start celebrating after you became successful?
I've always had like that party animal in me, where I did go to clubs every weekend. But now what I did is I sacrificed that lifestyle for work, and now I'm seeing the results.
How important is work ethic? Do you know any girl that works harder than you?
At the moment, no.
So how's your work ethic? What is work ethic to you? Like why do you say that no other woman works harder than you? Like what do you, like, in your own words, because I want to learn this from you.
Yeah.
What do you do that separates you from other women in business?
I'm very disciplined. So whenever I set my mind to something, I always lock it in and I tell myself, like, I have to do it. There's no going back. So I'm like literally up every morning. I wake up super early and then at night I come home, I eat, and then I do my second shift. I go back to work. And my mom's like, "You're gonna work again? You just came from work." I'm like, "Yeah, but I have to get back to these 5 people." And I told them I would get back to them today. Sometimes I'm on the phone like 9, 10 p.m., but I make sure that I get back to everyone.
Question. Uh, your husband.
Yes.
How do you deal with this? Because I know this is gonna help a lot of women. Like when you're like let's say your husband is Jesse is asking you, why are you working right now? Why are you calling people at 8 or 9? Like, how do you deal with that? And maybe another woman that's watching this, or another husband that's watching this to their wife, or whatever, vice versa. But like when you have to go home and still work and answer phone calls at 8 or 9 p.m., how do you convince and enroll your partner to believe in you? You have to answer your phone call at 8 9 p.m.
Well, that's something that he and I talked about early on when I first got into real estate. Like he knew what the whole industry was about, that I had to call clients, I had to go to clients' houses. At first, he would question me. He would say, "Are you sure you're at the client's house?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you want to come? Like it's in South Central. My car will be outside." But now he understands and he sees the bigger picture. He understands like, okay, this girl's putting in the work, but she's also getting the results. And now she's getting the lifestyle that she's always wanted. So he understands me 100 and he supports me 100%.
And I know that you do go to clients' homes sometimes, and sometimes they're not the best areas.
Right.
Like sometimes it could be South Central or Watts, or I don't know, so many other cities. But you go there, and do you ever get scared? Is that what you have to do to be successful, or how do you feel about that?
At first, when I first went to...
Because let me add something to it.
Yeah.
Like you're a pretty girl, right?
Yeah.
And there might be a lot of girls that are watching this, and they're like, wait, what if I go to this Watts area and I'm a pretty girl, and then what are these people? Maybe they're gonna attack me and kidnap me or whatever. But how was your first, like when you said, I'm gonna go to these houses in bad areas? Like, how did you do it, and did you get scared about it? Should other women watching this do that same thing? And because I think that just shows courage, but you also have to kind of be responsible and kind of watch out for yourself, because you do have a family, right?
Of course.
But how was it when you did it the first time?
Well, when I went the first time, it was in the hood. Like, it was like South Central. There's no parking in that area, and it was like really, really ghetto. I could not find parking, so what I did is I just parked on red, and I said, okay, whatever. Like, I'll just pay the ticket if they tow my car, whatever. But I'm not gonna walk 3 blocks. I was wearing Gucci shoes. And I had like Gucci earrings on, and I had my laptop. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to get kidnapped here. So I just parked in red, and I went to the client's house, and he walked me out. And after that, like after you do it like 3 times, you're like immune to it. So it feels normal. The next time I went, I didn't take my Gucci shoes, and then I started parking in red because I don't want to walk the 3 blocks down. And I never got a ticket, thank God. Until this day, I don't get tickets. But now I tell my clients, can you please let me park in your driveway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in order, is that, would you say that that's courage, or just that's just your work ethic, that you want to just, like, you have to do it because you have to bring money to your family? Like, what is it, work ethic, or is that just you just being a rebel and you just want to be courageous?
It's both, because it does take guts to do it. I don't know a lot of loan officers that do what I do. A lot of loan officers just do it through email or by phone. But I tell my clients, like, we can do it through person, email, whatever works for you works for me. So I had to do it. I had no choice, and it worked out for me.
But I think what makes clients like you more is that you are in-person type. Like you not only call them, but you're like, you could meet me face to face. Is face to face important for your business?
Yes, it is, because then the clients, we build a stronger relationship. They see me in person and they say, wow, you're actually real. Like, it's not just through a computer that we're communicating. And when we do that, we build a stronger bond. And then they refer me to their brother and to their neighbor. So it makes my business grow more.
Can you ever see yourself like not closing, like closing less than 10 deals in a month now?
Well, the goal now is to do 10. So I mean, I can't do less because then I'm not growing, and by not growing, you're dying. So I can't do that.
Let me ask you a personal question,
Yeah.
business personal question. What are your dreams? Like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Like, what is it that you like? How much money do you want? Because I know right now you have probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you have the most money in the bank that you've ever had, right? Because you emailed our corporate and you said, don't pay me, only pay me once a month. Like, I don't want to get like peanuts. I don't want to get one. I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. I don't want like one check. Just pay me at the end of the month my 8, 10, 12 closings. Like, I don't want to get one check. I don't want to get a couple of checks a week. I want to get a huge fat wire in my bank account at the end of the month. So why did you do that? What was the reason behind that?
The reason behind that was because I want one big check a month, like a huge check a month. I don't want to just see like wires coming in every week. I want like a big check every month. That's why I did that.
Why do you think most people want to get paid every week, and most people don't want to wait a month? And I know my answer, but
Yeah.
was it scary? Was it did something impact that in you to say, I want to wait and get paid a big check at the end of the month as opposed to getting paid every week? Because most people get paid and they're catching up on their bills from the past month.
Yeah.
Like what was it for you that you just said, I just want to get paid every month?
Well, I told myself I'm not going to allow myself to live paycheck to paycheck. So whatever I have in the bank right now should be sufficient and plus more to survive. And I need to work hard. So when the next month comes, I get a huge check. And then after that, a bigger check and a bigger check. So I promised myself that I have to keep making more and more and more, because I want, in 5 years, I want to have multiple investment properties. That's the goal. I want to have that Rari.
And we'll talk about
hot pink.
and we'll talk about this, but I think in the next 6 months to 12 months, it's going to be a great opportunity to invest and buy a lot of apartments, and I want to help you do that. And you could buy a 4-unit, and just start accumulating a bunch of apartments. And right now is the perfect time because you're going to buy low, and then they're going to go up. But something that I really wanted to touch before I bring in Syl, because Syl had a few questions for you. But and this is by the way the first time that Syl's actually going to interview somebody. So
I feel special.
It's going to be a special one. But I want to touch into your family. How important are your family? Because your sisters, both of them. I mean, I think you have three sisters, right?
I have three.
But two of them I talked to and I know personally.
Yeah.
And the third one I met her once or twice.
Yeah.
But the two that I know well, and one of them I know very well, they told me that your family is really important to you.
Yeah.
And that you also, and I think what makes you and forces you to work so hard and make so much money and help so many families is your passion for your family. And because you want to make them proud. Mm-hmm. You want them to say, Patty inspired me. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, of course. So I want to make my family proud, and I feel like if I win, my whole family wins, and I can motivate them, inspire them, and we all uplift each other.
You know, you're like the Selena or like that like you're like that Ed Milet or that person for your family, because your sister is always telling me, man, Patty's doing this, she's doing that. I'm inspired by her. So you are really impacting a lot of people, and a lot of and I think for you, a lot of women, they feel like I can't be a millionaire income earner, but you have proven that you could. So like if you could give 2 tips to, before I bring in Syl, if you could give 2 tips to women on
Yes.
how they could become $1 million earners, what are those 2 tips?
I would say number one, don't let anyone determine your destiny. Yes, you're gonna have haters. You're gonna have people bringing you down. You're gonna have people doubting you. Just go for it. Go all in and just do you. Like if you have a goal, go after that goal.
And you, just something to end this with, you were pregnant at 18 years old.
Yes, 18.
And other women might say like, oh, well, I got pregnant and times were tough, so I gave up on life. I got fat, I got sloppy, I lost all my money, and I thought the world ended. Like, you got pregnant at 18. How did you survive? And not only survive, but you pretty much like thrived. Like you maybe, I don't know how it was, but I feel like maybe you hit your lowest point, and that made you realize I have to fight back, and then you fought back, and now you are so successful. But like, how is it okay to I mean, I want you to tell me, like, when you got pregnant at 18, how was your life back then compared to how it is today?
Yeah, at 18 years old, it was a lot different. I was straight out of high school and I was a receptionist for a mortgage company. And I got knocked up, surprisingly, and I hid it from my dad for 6 months because he was so old school and I knew he was going to get mad. So I would wear like loose shirts for he won't find out. And finally, I made my husband tell him, like, you have to tell my dad. Like, he's going to find out, he's going to kill us. So he told my dad, and my dad said, te tienes que casar. And I said, no, like, I don't want to get married. Like, I'm too young. So then what I did was I had to go to work because I was going to have a baby soon. And my husband at the time got in a car accident, a really bad car accident, and he was not able to work. So I had to work. I did open houses pregnant, and that's how I started getting all my clients because I had no database, I had no references, I have no reviews, I had nothing. I was starting from scratch. So I did that, and I door knocked. I dropped off some flyers at El Super, and little by little I started getting clients, and now it's like I have a big book of business because of all the referrals that I have gotten.
But talk about that. That, I think that's unbelievable. Like, how were you doing open houses pregnant? Like, how were you working pregnant? Like, when that happened, when you were like, let's go back in time.
Yeah.
You're 18. You're pregnant. Your husband can't work, and
Yeah.
you're like in this, like, what's going through your mind?
I just had no choice. I said, I have a kid, and I know that it's going to be very expensive to raise this kid, and I had to do it because I was not getting income from anywhere else, so I had no choice. So what I would do is I would do open houses like in Southgate, and I would take my little sisters with me. And I would tell them, like, can you come with me? I'll buy you a raspado. That's how I would pay them back.
You know what? That's that relates so much to Syl, because Syl used to do open houses with her sisters, and I think that right now, to make it like even more special, I want to bring Syl in. You want to come in, Syl? Like, remember when you brought your sisters? But this is the first time we do this, by the way. So if you're watching this on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or whatever, I'll jump back in later if I can, but I want to bring in Syl because I think woman to woman, I think it's going to add a lot of value to it. So let's go.
Hi.
Take your empty glass.
I know, right?
Talk about the sisters. Like how you used to take your sisters to the open house.
So, hi guys. Yeah, I can totally relate to Patty. There's so many so many qualities that I see in you that I actually see in myself or know that I have, right? And for the record, I don't know, I might work harder than you though. I've always worked hard my whole life. Like she just said, it's like it's something you do. Like, I don't think I ever stop until I'm actually finished. Is that you too, Penny?
Yeah, that makes
Like,
sense.
I don't stop until I'm finished.
Yeah.
I don't ever stop until I'm actually finished with whatever it is that I'm doing. And yeah, I used to take my sisters to open houses too. Always. And yeah, I mean, my main question to you is, aside from your family and obviously wanting a better life, like what keeps you like going? Because I know you're working on some things that I can't talk about on camera, but I do know that you have a crazy work ethic. But like what else? Like aside, you want a good life, like you want you to retire your parents, like is it also for yourself, just to prove to yourself that you're a badass?
Well, actually, I want to be the first self-made millionaire in my family. That's what keeps me going.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people, I feel like they bash on people that want a better life, or people that didn't give up on their dreams, or people that do want a better life, because, you know, regardless of what anybody says, it might not always be about the money, but it is always about the money, because without money you don't have very many options, right? And people are so scared to be comfortable with wanting a better life, with wanting money, because people around you tell you like, oh, that's not enough for you, you want more, like you want to do this, you want to do that. But like, how do you ever have to deal with that sometimes?
Yeah, I do. I just block it off. I have a lot of haters, and I don't even know why. Like, I don't even hate on people, but it just naturally comes. But I've had them since I can remember, since middle school. So I just like block them off and I unfriend them.
Yeah, bye. No negativity allowed.
Yeah, like I don't need those people in my life.
Yeah. You know, and that's so important to success, because a lot of people don't reach their full potential because they're so worried about what everybody else is saying, right? Like me, for example, I never really knew that. I mean, I always wanted a good life, but I didn't know that people like hate people, and I'm like, really? Like, there's like, people that you don't get along with, which is totally cool.
Yeah.
But now hating on somebody, I think that's crazy. Like, I don't know if you've gotten social media hate. To me, I'm like, have you lately?
Yeah.
A little bit? Yeah. I'm like, man, like, how much time do these people have on their hands to go create fake accounts
and block me
and go bash people that are doing something for themselves, that are working hard, that want to provide a better family, for a better future for their family? Like, I don't know, I'll never understand it, but it's the world that we live in. And just know, you know, for anybody listening, like, ignore all that, because then you're gonna look back at your life and realize that you didn't do things that you really wanted to do because of what people were gonna think. And at the end of the day, if they don't pay your bills, who gives
2 cents?
Yeah. I wasn't gonna say that, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, in reality, I really admire your work ethic. I remember when she came onto the company, I was like, I like her, you know, like she's super cool.
You're like, who is this girl?
No, I'm super down with anybody and everybody, and I know people are capable of a better life. Now, it's a matter of if they're going to do it or not. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. We are all amazing, whether you believe it or not. You are amazing. She's amazing. I'm amazing. I love myself. I know you love yourself. And there's nothing wrong with, people are always going to judge you. Nothing wrong with wanting to be better, wanting a better life, wanting to be able to travel, because everybody wants those things. Now, are they going to work for them or not, right?
Yeah.
So, and there's something that I want to share with you guys. So, do you remember when you told me that you were full on pregnant and you were door knocking? Is that what you told me?
Yeah.
That you were door knocking?
That was in 2008.
You know, when you told me that, I was like, dude, that is something that I would totally do, because you either have excuses or you have results. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else. And life could always be worse, right? At least we're alive. At least we have, you know, we can create, or we have, as far as freedom goes here in U.S., right?
Right. Yeah.
As far as everything we're going through right now. I mean, you guys can hear the helicopters. There's like protests and all kinds of craziness going on. But, you know, somebody texts me right now and they're like, oh my God, you know, everything that's... I said, no, I honestly block all of that out.
The news,
I like to know more or less what's happening, but I don't focus on it. And I feel like when people focus on negative, you attract more negative. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, I agree.
And you have to make the best of every situation. So you're pregnant. Like, I mean, hey, you keep working, right? There's a recession. You keep working. My grandma always used to tell me, el trabajo hay para los que los buscan.
Exactly.
El trabajo hay para los que buscan. Which is so true, porque el flojo nunca tiene trabajo.
Yeah, and that was in 2008 when the whole economy, like, went bad, and everyone told me, you're crazy, you're getting into real estate, what are you doing, like, do you know what you're doing? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. And thank God I did it, and I followed my own instinct, and now I'm here.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I actually started in real estate when the market had crashed.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm like, if you could do bad in a good, if you could do good in a bad market, then you could do good in any market,
Yeah,
right? Because to me,
exactly.
it was a little bit work, right? Monday through Sunday open houses, but like I had nothing else to do.
Right.
Some of these people that are like, oh, I don't have time for this. No, you're not making time.
Time.
We all have time.
It's all about prioritizing.
1,000%. You have to prioritize and be clear as far as your goals go. And even if you're not in the same industry like you with your husband, at least he supports you and he backs her up, which he does. I just asked him off camera. I'm like, are you proud of her? And he's like, yeah, really proud of her. Yeah. So, yeah. What else can you share with all the ladies? Because, you know, like you, I've never, ever, ever depended on anybody. Like, as soon as I turned 18, I'm like, I'm getting out. Like, I'm going to go get a job. I'm going to go do my thing. I'm going to have my own money. You know, waitressing is all I did before I got into real estate when I met my amazing husband. And that's all I ever did. But I wanted those extra tips. I'm like, okay, what else could I do? How else can I get money? And I just, you know, made things happen. And slowly I just kind of, you know, made a lot of money.
A lot of money, yeah.
And tips a lot. Because people loved me. Like, they would go back and they'd be like, oh, here's $50. Here's $100. Literally to wait on their table. At, like, I'm talking Red Lobster, Denny's. People would drop me $20. Back then, it was a lot of money.
Right.
And to me, work was always my number one priority. And I think you're the same way. Because I see you. I'm watching you.
Yeah.
Work ethic is important.
Work ethic and environment.
Yeah.
Because I have a little over a year here with the mortgage guys. And I was actually the first girl
Cheers.
that joined the mortgage guys. And I thought, oh my God, do they only hire guys? Because I was the only girl after I started seeing more girls join. So I was like, okay, I'm going to call myself the mortgage girl.
Yeah. And now we have a bunch of ladies. You know, I love women.
Yeah.
I think we're freaking badasses.
Yeah,
You know,
we are.
like me and you were just speaking in my daughter's room, and I'm like, we do so many things, you know, and now I know this because I have 2 kids.
Yeah.
Right? And if I could, it's very draining to be pregnant, and it just takes a lot of work because I still have a lot of things to do and I don't stop. Anybody that knows me knows that I do not stop. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm freaking about to give birth. Like, I don't stop. I do everything that I have to do, and I don't give myself the opportunity to create excuses as far as why I couldn't handle things.
Yeah.
So, you know, women we're so powerful. We do so many things, you know, and I don't want to say men because I also love men. I think we're all amazing in our own way. But mother is like, people don't really realize how much we do. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think we do it all. Like, we're moms. Like, we cook, we clean, we work.
And you have one. How old is your son?
He's gonna be 12 this year. Yeah.
Any more kids for you? Maybe.
Maybe in the future, twins.
Yeah. I know, she's crazy. I'm like, 1 is so hard. Like, I can't even imagine 2.
But then that makes me, like, I tell myself, okay, I want more kids in the future and I want twins. I need to level up my business because I'm going to have to hire a nanny because I'm not going to stop working. Mm-hmm. Like, I can never go back to not working ever. So I have to hire a nanny. I have to make more.
Yeah, 100%.
More income. Yeah.
You know, I have 2 and I don't know how people do it with, I just don't, I don't get
with
it.
5.
Like, I'm like, how the heck? Like, my mom had 5.
I know, it's crazy. My mom had 5 too.
I know that I helped her a lot and it was totally different times, but how the heck did she have 5? Like, how? I would never. O sea, mi abuela tiene como 7. Yo hubiera tenido como 20 si no se le hubiera morido el marido. Like, it's crazy. And then it's so funny because they're like, all you young people care about is sex. I'm like, excuse me, I'm not the one with back-to-back kids. But anyway, yeah, to kind of end this, I don't know if Albert's coming back, but there's nothing wrong, right? If you could agree with me, like wanting a better life.
Right. Yeah.
like people make you feel guilty for that, and I feel like with money you have opportunities, you have different choices, you can fly
Options.
people in, you have options, you can have 20 nannies, you can
Yeah.
have your kids and still be able to go through with the flow of your work or whatever it is that you do to be able to create more things. So 1000%, like, never give up on whatever it is that you want.
Yeah.
Right. And also, maybe you can attest to this, you can always do more, right?
Of course.
No matter how tired you are.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when I came into this company, I saw people doing like double digits a month, and I was only doing like 2 or 3. So I was like, whoa, like that opened my eyes, and I said, I want to be in that level. Like, if he can do it, I can do it. So now people are doing like 20, 30 loans a month.
That's crazy.
Eventually, I want to get to that level, and I will.
And you will, and I don't have a doubt in my mind that you will, because I see you working at like 8, 9 p.m.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people ask me and Albert, like, what is the main key to your guys' success?
Yeah.
And in reality, I would say is you make one thing your priority, and then everything just blossoms from there. But if you're very clear as far as where you want to get in life, then it's a lot easier to say, okay, this is not going to help me get to where I want to be. This person is not going to help me get to where I want to be. So guess what? I'm not going to go hang out with that person, and I'm not going to do this, and that. Like, if it's not going to help you get to where you want to be, because life is short.
It is, yeah.
Then just, prioritize. Like, prioritize as far as where you want to be, who you want to be with, how much money you want to make, and what
who
kind
you
of a
spend
life.
your time with too.
Yeah,
That's very valuable as well, because the time we can never get it back.
Never. They're what? Unrefundable minutes?
Right?
It's true.
Yeah.
And we don't ever think about these things until they're put into perspective, which is why we have Driven. Every year, September, it's like, people don't realize that it takes everything that you have to be successful. Absolutely everything. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to stop here. That's okay. We're all different. I'm not saying that you have to have millions and millions and billions of dollars to be happy, because that's not true. Money will enhance whatever kind of person you already are. I always say this, and I want to touch on it again, because it's true. If you're a miserable person or you're a bad person, you're going to be that same bad, miserable person, regardless of if you have a lot of money or you don't.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, so you work on mimicking people that you want to be like, and hanging out with people that are successful, because more than you'll ever know, they have different habits, different things they do, different routines, they speak differently, they carry themselves differently. And definitely stay away from negative people, because that is a dream killer.
Exactly.
And sometimes it's our family, right?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Because I know a lot of people always ask me and Albert, how do you deal with your, like, mom or your dad or even your grandparents? And they're not bad people. They have different information that isn't accurate anymore. It's like a penny saved is a penny earned, like different things like that. Like, well, how do you deal with that? Because also, we can't change our parents, we can't change our grandparents. They love us, they want nothing but the best for us, but guess what? They watch the news all day, so they have different information. So how do you deal with that without crushing them or making them feel bad?
Yeah, I just honestly, I don't like to make people feel bad. So I just go along with it, but I ignore it too. Like, she's like, oh, watch the news all day. I'm like, no, I can't do that. Like, I have to work. Like, work is priority. And I live in a bubble. I feel like I live in a bubble of loans where I don't know what's going on in the outside world. Same. Like, when the whole corona broke out, my husband's like, oh my God, do you know what's happening? And there's a pandemic, and you're going to work, and your assistant's going to work, and you guys don't have gloves and masks and sanitizers? And I'm like, look, I have deals to close.
Yeah, like, there's clients
and like, oh my God,
waiting.
you need to watch the news. And I'm like, well, I have to take care of this client. Like, I just have to go to work. And he always tells me, you live in a bubble of loans. Like, you don't know anything else that's going on in the world. Like, right now, the riots, and I'm just like focused on work.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the same as me. I always focus on the things I can control.
Right.
And not only that, being able to control the outcomes that I want, as far as, like, my environment, who I choose to surround myself with. Because one negative person can completely kill everything. And I tell you guys this because it happens to all of us. Like, we all have people like this that they just drain you. I know we all have this one friend, and it's like, okay, bye. The minute you cut them out of your life, it's like, whoop, you literally just jump up. Like, a whole like level just
Yeah.
by getting rid of the baggage.
I don't have a lot of friends. I only
me
have
neither.
like 5.
I have a lot of acquaintances, and there
Yeah.
are a lot of people that I love, like that are part of our company. But it takes a lot to call somebody your friend, because
Yeah.
that word is thrown around so like loosely that I'm like, nah, that's you just met her yesterday.
I know.
Like, that's not your friend.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah.
I consider you a true friend, and I
Yeah.
feel like ever since I joined like TMG, like my business has like exploded, because I feel like success is contagious. Like, I want that lifestyle. I want to be on that level. What do I got to do? Work my ass off.
Yeah, and like I tell people, it's funny that you say that, because like I'm not saying that like you need a nice car, like
Yeah.
at all, but it feels really good to get out of a nice car. It
Yeah.
feels very good to have options, nice cars, different cars, right?
Yeah.
But now what about, like, for example, like there's people that I know are like, oh, whatever, like you're showing off. No, like I'm being honest with you. I've been happy in my Camry, in my every single car I've ever had. I've been happy in it. In my
Yeah.
truck, I'm naturally a happy person.
Right.
So I'm like, no, I've always been happy in every car, but it feels really good to get out of a Rolls Royce. It feels really good to get out of a Ferrari, because people identify that as success.
Right.
However you look at it.
Exactly.
Like, I don't care what people say. It's
Yeah.
a fact. It is
Even
a
walking
fact.
into this building, like the moment I step foot in this building, I feel like a rich ass girl. And everyone looks at me, and I'm like the only Hispanic here.
When
But
you're hot, I would look at you too.
and
But
they're
yeah.
like, "Oh, you're here for the preciados, right?" I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah. They
I'm
know.
like, call me an elevator. Because I'm not going up the stairs in these bloody bottoms.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Kobe. Albert and I were just talking about Kobe, and
Yeah.
we were watching the documentary for Michael Jordan, and it's absolutely amazing, and it is insane how every person that is successful or great at something, they have the same traits. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I feel like I'm a bully, but I'm like, no, I know you could do more. I know you could do that. I know you can do that. I know you can do this. And this is what we're going to do in this much time. And people are like, dude, you're fucking crazy.
You're
And
crazy.
I'm like, no. We just
And then
have
they
to
think
work.
you're mean, like, oh, you're a bitch.
Yeah. I'm like, no, because I see it. I feel it.
You
I
see the
know
potential
it.
in them.
You know, and we're
Yeah.
all capable. It's just that we don't believe we are.
Exactly.
So we were watching the documentary. I'm like, damn, Jordan was a beast. He was crazy. Like,
Yeah.
when you hear some of the things he told people, some of the things he said, I'm like, wow, that is so impressive. And now I don't feel so bad.
Right.
I make people better. Even though they hate me for a little bit. But then they're like, damn, thank you, Syl. You have no idea how many people have told me that.
Yeah.
Like, so many people.
Sometimes people don't see it in themselves. They need someone else to see it for them.
Yeah. 1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. So where can people follow you, Patty?
So you can follow me on my IG, Patty the Mortgage Girl, and my Facebook is Patty Marin. Or you can also email me, pattyh21@gmail.com.
So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.